Drake's story right now isn't starting with the music. It's starting with the fallout, a very public loss, one that shook his image, his dominance, and the way people in the industry look at him. Because not long ago, Drake wasn't just one of the biggest artists in the world, he was the industry. Every chart, every feature, every viral moment somehow traced back to him. He felt untouchable. But then everything changed. What started as quiet tension slowly turned into a full-scale explosion. For years, Drake and Kendrick Lamar had been throwing subtle shots at each other. Competitive bars, sneak disses, and that constant question lingering in the background. Who's really the greatest? Then in 2024, it finally boiled over into one of the biggest rap beefs modern hip-hop has ever seen. And it didn't feel like Drake versus Kendrick anymore. It felt like Drake versus everybody. Future and Metro Boomin entered the conversation with Like That, a track that didn't just send a warning shot, it started a war. Kendrick's verse was direct, aggressive, and impossible to ignore. No subliminals, no hidden meanings, just straight confrontation. From there, the battle escalated fast. Drake responded. Kendrick fired back. Then, another track dropped. And another. Every release raised the stakes, and every diss became a cultural moment. But here's the uncomfortable truth people keep coming back to. In the eyes of the public, Kendrick won.
And Drake has prolonged this whole situation. Drake made the L he took to Kendrick Lamar way worse.
Capital L now.
Capital L now. Like, you know, you lost the battle, and you keep it moving.
You're still a superstar.
You're a superstar.
You're still, sell out shows. Your next album is gonna get streamed to hell. Come on.
Like, but you made it worse by just simply coming out there and suing. Like, yo, you can't get over losing in a rap battle that much that you had to sue. And by the way, Drake is the one who stopped the battle. Drake stopped the battle. Drake waved the white flag with that Hard Part 6 bullshit.
Oh, that was horrible.
It was horrible because you know what happened? Kendrick beat him to the punch. I'll never forget it, man.
Not just because of one song, but because of the impact. Tracks like Not Like Us didn't just trend, they became cultural moments. They took over conversations, clubs, timelines, and social media feeds everywhere. Even people who weren't deeply tapped into hip-hop knew exactly what was happening. For the first time in a long time, Drake looked human, vulnerable, beatable. And that changed everything. Because when you've been on top for over a decade, people don't just watch your success. They wait for the moment you slip. And when that moment finally comes, even a small one, the reaction is always loud.
Oh my God. Drake, you gotta shoot him, and you gotta shoot him now. I'm sorry. This is Drake's crib. Nah, Drake, you gotta shoot this nigga, man. No, I'm joking. I'm joking about with that. Honestly, Drake gotta go to Kendrick Lamar block and shoot a video. It's the only option. You gotta go to his block and shoot a video. I'm sorry. By the way, Kendrick ain't leave the house yet. Yeah, Drake, you got squabble. Fuck it. This nigga Kendrick is now over here adding you to the registry, gang. I ain't gonna lie. This fucker is crip walking on this goddamn motherfucking beat, man. Wait, did he just name Drake's song? So this shit must have been mad recent. Drake dropped the shit last night, and he's mentioning the song today.
Suddenly the industry felt different. Artists who once stood beside Drake seemed more distant. Collaborations slowed down. The energy around him shifted. And it wasn't just about the music anymore. It became about perception, respect, and ultimately, legacy. Drake went from being the untouchable hitmaker to the artist people started questioning. Is he still number one? Did he lose his edge? Was Kendrick always better? And that's where this next chapter begins. ICEMAN. Even the title says a lot. Cold, calculated, emotionless, focused. This doesn't sound like the name of an album made by someone comfortable at the top. It sounds like the work of someone who feels like they still have something to prove.
I think initially my goal was just to be a protege that didn't flop. You know, I just wanted to be somebody that was like remotely as important as my mentor.
I don't want to be number two. I think that would be a weird thing to sit here and say, or I don't care. You know, I want to make this city proud. You know, that's a main reason for me.
But now it gives me a chance to really accept that I am something different. I am something new, and now it's just I see it more as an opportunity to really be like, well, maybe I don't have to be the next Ye, or I don't have to be the next Wayne. I could just be the first Drake.
And just for anyone watching this that's wondering how this happened, you know, that's really the answer. It's being so unsure how you're getting it done that you just kind of keep going in the hopes of figuring out the formula. Just feeling so lucky and blessed that the fear of losing it keeps you up at night.
This version of Drake has never really been here before. Sure, he's faced criticism. Every major artist does. But this feels different. For the first time in his career, his dominance has been seriously challenged in the public eye. For the first time, the narrative isn't fully in his control. And if there's one thing people know about Drake, it's that he pays attention to narratives.
Because Metro deleted a tweet that he posted about him. I forgot exactly what the tweet was. I don't even know what the beef is over, honestly, at this point.
And to the rest of you, the non-believers, the underachievers, the tweet and deleters, you guys make me sick to my stomachs, fam. Honestly, if you guys want to look in my eyes, you guys want to do something? That's what I thought. No, that's what I thought. That's what I
I feel like the competition is great for the game. You know, hip-hop has always been more of a competitive genre. But I just feel like more today it's more like stan culture. Back in the day, like Jay-Z and Nas went at it, but like I was a fan of both of them, you know? The internet just makes it a little too wild. I feel like, you know, it's good for the game, and as far as me being diplomatic, I mean, it's just entertainment at the end of the day.
He hears everything, every tweet, every comment, every comparison. And that pressure, that doubt, is exactly what could make ICEMAN one of the most important albums of his career. Think about it. When artists feel untouchable, they can get comfortable. The music might still be good, but it doesn't always carry that hunger, that urgency, that need to prove something. But when artists feel like they've lost something, that's when things get dangerous. That's when they lock in. And Drake has every reason to lock in right now. Because this isn't just about making hits anymore. It's about reclaiming respect. ICEMAN has the potential to be more than just another Drake album. It could be a statement, a response, a reset. We might see a version of Drake that's colder, sharper, and more direct. Less focused on pleasing everyone, and more focused on proving a point. Less melodies, more bars. Less trying to dominate hearts, more trying to dominate conversations. Or maybe, and this is just as possible, he leans fully into what made him Drake in the first place, the versatility. The ability to move between introspection, confidence, and vulnerability in a way very few artists can. Because even after the loss to Kendrick, Drake is still Drake. The numbers don't disappear overnight. The fan base doesn't suddenly vanish. Influence doesn't fade that quickly. But aura? Aura can crack, and right now that's what he's trying to rebuild. The real question is how he does it. Does he address the beef directly? Does he throw subtle shots and keep the tension alive without fully reigniting it? Or does he ignore it completely and focus on reminding everyone why he stayed on top for so long? Every option comes with risk. If he goes too direct, he could reopen wounds from a battle people think he already lost. If he ignores it, people might say he's avoiding it. And if he plays it too safe, the album could end up feeling like a missed opportunity. That's why ICEMAN feels so important. It's not just about the music, it's about the approach. Drake has always been strategic. He understands timing, he understands moments. But this time, the moment isn't fully in his hands anymore. For once, he's reacting instead of leading.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect. I have a lot of respect for, the other two guys that I'm constantly, up against, which is like Cole and Kendrick.
Three-headed monster.
Yeah. So I have a lot of respect for those guys because they also continue to, stay true to what we started with, and finding new ways to do it. And I'm excited that the decade's about to turn and we're gonna see who can go that extra stretch, because it is really, I think for all three of us, it is the time to see who can transcend the generations, much like Jay did, or much like Wayne did after the Hot Boys days, going into like Show Me What You Got freestyle when he just completely switched up and was like, so
Absolutely.
I think that year is coming up for all three of us, where it's time to see, are we capable of, another 5-year run.
But sometimes, pressure is exactly what creates greatness. Some of the best albums in hip-hop history came from artists who felt doubted, disrespected, or overlooked. Albums where you could hear the hunger in every track. And if Drake taps into that energy, ICEMAN could become something bigger than a comeback. It could be a reinvention. Because at this stage of his career, Drake doesn't just need another successful album, he needs a defining one. One that reminds people why he dominated for so long, one that shifts the narrative again, one that makes people stop saying Kendrick ended Drake and start saying Drake responded. Because that's the real battle now. Not Drake versus Kendrick, Drake versus the narrative. In hip-hop, narratives are powerful. Once they stick, they're hard to shake. And right now, the narrative isn't in Drake's favor. But music has always been Drake's strongest weapon. And if there's one thing he's proven over and over again, it's that he knows how to make people listen. So when ICEMAN drops, it won't feel like just another album release. It'll feel like a test, a moment, a chance to see whether Drake can adapt, evolve, and reclaim his place at the top, or whether this marks the beginning of a new era where he's no longer untouchable. Either way, everyone will be watching. Because whether people love him or hate him, criticize him or defend him, Drake is still one of the most important artists in the world. And ICEMAN might decide what the next chapter of his career looks like. And if the music is the response, then the rollout is the strategy. Drake didn't just announce ICEMAN. He turned it into a moment. Instead of a standard album announcement, he did something colder, more calculated. In the middle of Toronto, a massive ice structure appeared with almost no explanation. Hidden inside was a message, the release date. And instantly, the internet exploded. Fans crowded around it with cameras rolling and live streams running. People weren't just waiting for the album anymore. They were hunting for it. Some tried chipping away at the ice. Others brought tools. Some even used blowtorches. It became a full spectacle. Part marketing campaign, part chaos. And that was exactly the point. Because Drake understands something most artists don't. Attention is currency. By turning the rollout into a real-world treasure hunt, he made the album feel bigger than music. It became an event, a conversation, something people felt they had to witness in real time. Eventually, the date was revealed, May 15th. But by then, the actual date barely mattered because everyone was already paying attention. And this rollout didn't begin there either. For months, Drake had been teasing ICEMAN through live streams, cryptic posts, loose singles, and unreleased snippets. He'd even drive through the city previewing songs, turning ordinary moments into viral content. None of it felt random. Every move felt controlled. Because after losing control of the narrative during the Kendrick beef, Drake now seems focused on taking it back, step by step, post by post, moment by moment. Even the imagery surrounding the album, the diamonds, the ice, the coldness, all ties into the same idea: untouchable, unbreakable, emotionless, the ICEMAN. But what makes this rollout so interesting is that it doesn't feel like dominance. It feels like recovery. Like someone rebuilding their image in real time, trying to remind the world who they are without saying it directly. Because Drake understands the reality of the moment. The industry may have shifted away from him. The narrative may not favor him right now. But if there's one thing he has always been elite at, it's making people pay attention. And right now, all eyes are back on him, waiting to see if the music can live up to the moment. But beyond the rollout and the narrative, there's another question everyone keeps asking. Who's actually on this album? Because if ICEMAN is Drake's response to everything that's happened, then the features matter more than ever. And based on the leaks, rumors, and previews so far, this could end up being one of the most strategic track lists of his career. Early clues already point toward collaborations with artists like Central C, Yate, and Julia Wolf. And that alone says a lot. Drake isn't just staying in his lane, he's expanding it, tapping into international sounds, younger audiences, and newer energy. Because this isn't only about competing anymore, it's about staying ahead. Then there are the rumors. Speculation continues to grow around appearances from Young Thug, 21 Savage, Party Next Door, and Cash Cobain. And if those names end up being real, this album starts to look less like a solo statement and more like a calculated alliance. After everything that happened with Kendrick, Future, and Metro Boomin, Drake doesn't just need hits, he needs positioning. Aligning himself with artists who still support him, or who represent different corners of the culture, could be part of rebuilding influence and shifting perception. Even some of the leaked songs hint at where Drake's mindset is right now. On several tracks, he still appears to be addressing the fallout, taking shots, and reminding listeners exactly where he stands. Which means one thing. This album probably won't be neutral. It won't be safe. It'll be personal, calculated, maybe even confrontational. Because Drake knows silence isn't really an option anymore. So now everything comes down to one date, May 15th, because ICEMAN isn't just another Drake album. It's a statement, a response, a test. This is the moment where Drake either regains control of the narrative or risks losing it completely. For the first time in a very long time, the doubt surrounding him isn't quiet anymore. It's public. Across the internet, across the industry, across the culture. And regardless of who people think won the beef, one thing is undeniable. The pressure around Drake feels different now. But if there's one thing Drake has built his career on, it's proving people wrong, turning doubt into dominance and moments into movements. So the real question isn't whether the album will be good. The real question is whether it'll be strong enough to change the way people see him. Because when May 15th arrives, people won't just be listening, they'll be judging, watching, waiting to see if the Iceman is really as cold as he claims to be.
For our genre, I just like to, keep things exciting and keep making music. Shout out to everybody that's trying to do the same thing. More life is coming soon and more tune for your head top. So watch how you speak on my name, you know?